Yo, what's going on everybody? Dr. Grimmett from Forge Physio. This is the calf bridge. So the point of this drill is going to be able to feel your soleus muscle, which is a muscle that's deep to your big calf muscle, or the one that we typically see on people when they're walking around, which is the gastroc muscle. We're trying to get the soleus to contract, be able to kind of feel the soleus, the hamstring, and the glute. So we're gonna go onto our back. And then your setup position is going to vary a little bit for everybody, but if I get my feet way too far out in front of me, when I try to do this, I can't get my heels off the ground very much, and I'll want to claw the ground with my toes. And typically what happens for most people is it gets very crampy. And then if I'm curled all the way in to my butt, I can get my heels really high. So for most people, you're going to find that kind of like middle ground position to where I can get my heels not all the way to the top, but I don't want to be so far out that I'm cramping. And then the other piece is if I get too close, then I can't really feel my hamstring muscles working. So how we like to cue this movement is we like to go arms crossed. And we like to start by doing a pelvic tilt by pushing your low back into the ground and think about trying to get your waist, like your waistline of your pants or your sweatpants or whatever it is you're wearing off the ground. And then from there, I'm going to try to get my heels off the ground by building pressure through the front of my feet and then driving through the joint that's right under my big toe, but not so much that the outside of my feet comes off. So I have equal pressure between my big toe and my pinky toe, maybe a little bit more pressure under the big toe. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep my heel raise as high as possible here, and then keep my butt tucked under me as much as I can to really get that calf hamstring kind of connection. And then we're just gonna go for a hold typically here. This is what we call the isometric portion. For a lot of people, we're gonna cue you to put a yoga block or something between your knees to squeeze to keep your knees, your hips, and your ankles in line. And then a different variation that we can do is we can go to a single leg variation to really light up that calf and hamstring complex. And then we can go from the isometric to doing it with a heel raise to where you go to the same position, setup is the exact same. And then here, I'm going in and out of reps. And then I would go single leg and go in and out of reps. If you find it too challenging to transition from double leg to single leg, what you can do is you can stagger your feet to where one foot is further out than the other, so it's still on the ground. And the leg that would be biased is the leg that's closer towards you. So shouldn't feel this in your back. Think about keeping those heels as high as possible and your back as low to the ground as possible. Really tuck the tailbone under you. The more you tuck the tailbone under you, the more you're gonna get hamstring activation.